What it is, y'all. What it is, beautiful people. We are back. It's Wholesale Hardknocks, episode 56. It's your boy Daryll, and I got my brother with me, the Mike Gomes. Mike, how you feeling on this beautiful Wednesday?
I'm feeling grateful, bro. I'm just feeling super grateful, to be honest. Just
What you
grateful
got to be grateful for, bro?
for this life that I woke up this morning. That is, it's another day above ground. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot to be grateful for. It's hard not to be grateful.
Bro, it's funny. Yo, am I still there? Can you hear me?
Yep.
It's funny because it's not funny, but it's important to have that gratitude. We start every single one of our morning meetings with our wholesale team. We start every single meeting off with gratitude. Like you have to tell me one thing that you're grateful for before we start the meeting. And once everybody goes through what they're grateful for, and most days it turns into like 20 things that everybody's grateful for. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody just listing off things that they're grateful for. And I only ask for one. So just say, give me one thing. And it's to build up that culture, build up that team camaraderie, and just honestly just to be grateful, because it's impossible to be mad and grateful at the same time. Or upset and grateful.
No, that's really good.
Yeah, bro. So that's dope. I'm glad. I'm glad you brought that up today, bro.
I was talking to somebody earlier, and it was kind of like an in-depth conversation. She started crying, and she was telling me, she was like, yo, Mike, I have a hard time celebrating things because from my past, whenever something good would happen, I always knew something bad would happen just because of how she grew up. She was talking about how she grew up, and she's like, yeah, I grew up kind of rough, and every single time, something good would happen, I just knew that something bad was going to happen here in the near future. So it's hard for me to celebrate things. And I was like, yo, that's so interesting that she said that. She's literally in tears telling me this. And as she's saying this, I'm like, yo, I actually really resonate with that, because for me, I had a rough background too. And whenever it felt like when I was growing up, whenever stuff would go bad, I would literally feel like, oh man, this is not good. Things are going good. That means something bad's about to happen quick. So I got in the same mentality, but she's literally talking to me, like crying about this. And I just had so much empathy for her. And I'm like, and we're just having a conversation of how we've both grown from that. And she's like saying, I'm just so grateful now that I'm not in that space and I can celebrate and be in the moment with things. And I'm like, yeah, it's so dope. I'm like, now what helps me celebrate things is being grateful on a day, like practicing gratitude on a daily basis. And then I had to stop myself. I'm like, wait, not even on a daily basis, on like a hourly basis and a minute basis.
Facts. Bro, it's actually a hack. It's a cheat code. Like whenever you're feeling sad, whenever it's a time where or like things just aren't going your way, I try to like hack my brain by just thinking about everything I have to be grateful for. Right. So like if something just goes totally wrong, like we lose out on a deal or something, right? I may be pissed. I could have done something differently. I may be pissed off. Right. I have to stop and think about, oh shit, I live in a beautiful house. Oh, I got feet. I can walk.
You can't be mad.
I've closed plenty of deals before the past. I know how to do it again. We have a huge pipeline. I'm grateful for the pipeline. I'm grateful for the team. You know what I mean? So it's like whenever you're feeling down or feeling like just things ain't going your way, a good hack to try is to practice gratitude. Find one thing that you could be grateful for.
Bro, I'm looking for this because I just came back to the office like 5 minutes ago, and on my way here, I was listening to a psalm, right? And it says, this is Psalm 50, line 23. But giving thanks is a sacrifice that truly honors me. If you keep to my path, I will reveal you the salvation of God. Think about, but giving thanks is a sacrifice that truly honors me. Like that's how much, like being grateful is if we're getting into God, it's like the greatest thing that you could do for God. So think about that. If that's like the greatest thing that you could do with him, that's why it's like impossible to not just feel love and happiness when you're grateful.
Without a doubt.
Daryl's point, it's such a hack to just like, if you could retrain your mind to in every situation, just try to find something to be grateful for. Holy crap, Your life will change.
Let's go. Let's go. I love it. So, Mike, what we doing today, bro?
We're doing a general Q&A. We haven't done one of these in a while. Like where we just let the comments go, let the DMs go, people just asking us questions and let us just go off on a tangent about whatever you guys got going on. So everybody in the side comments, please drop your questions, whatever it is. This can be about mindset, this can be about relationships, this can be about real estate, wholesaling, business structure, taxes, LLCs, whatever you want, buying properties, creative finance, sales, any and everything. That's what we're talking today. So drop your comments in the side chat. Me and Daryll also get so many DMs every single day. Like I literally dedicate, I would say probably about an hour a day to social media. This is like posting and replying to comments. And replying to comments and DMs literally takes me like a half hour.
Facts.
As I'm sitting there replying to somebody, and I reply to every single person. So if you guys ever see a reply on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram or on my Facebook or whatever, that is me. I'm replying to literally any and everybody. I literally dedicate, I time block time to reply to y'all. So me and Daryl get a ton of DMs every single day with people just asking us general questions about a bunch of different stuff in business and all that type of stuff. So we'll be answering some of those questions, but more specifically for the people that have showed up, that y'all are here, ready to get better here on this Wednesday night. Drop those questions in the side chat and we'll get them answered.
Yes, sir. My guy Mario just came out the gate with the question. He says, "Hey, Daryll Ellison, I want to learn this game. Do you have a course, or how would you recommend me learning this game? Thanks in advance." So, Mario, this is a great question, right? So, I don't have a wholesaling course, right? I have a sales training course. I could teach you sales, but I don't have an actual wholesaling course. Now, I do have a community, right? I would say join a community and find somebody in that community. Go to the dog pound, it's free, right? Find somebody that's in the community that is in your area, right? Find somebody that's in your area and provide value to them. Bring them leads. Tell them, hey, if you have time, if you have nothing but time, get on somebody's team in your area and make calls for them, right? Or it may not even have to be in your area. Find somebody who has an active business and is working every single day in that's wholesaling to people, that's calling sellers, that's making it happen, and get on their team and learn. If you don't want to work on somebody's team, that's fine. Go to YouTube, right? There's plenty of videos on YouTube, right? But the main thing that you want to do is I would say get with people who's actually doing it, right? Get with people who's actually doing the business and find out how to provide value to them. Mike, what do you have to that question? You have an answer to that?
I really like that. Definitely get in Daryl's community because there's so many different people in there doing deals together. It's like once you get proximity to people actually doing deals, it is contagious. It's like almost supernatural. It's literally like a cold. If I go hang out with Daryll, he got a cold. Most likely, if we're hanging out, we're going to the gym together, we're doing all the things together, I'm probably going to catch a cold.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Same deal with being successful, just with anything. Like it's so cliche saying that you are the top 5 friends that you hang out with, but it really is like that's a real thing. So definitely get in proximity to people actually doing the thing, and then here's what's going to happen: you're going to be attracted. Okay, I'm going to give you guys this is really, really good. So you're going to be attracted once you get in proximity with people that are actually doing the thing. They could be doing different things. Like Daryl's business looked a little bit different than mine did when he started, right? So, but I was in proximity to a bunch of different people. So I'm looking at other people's businesses and stuff like that, and I'm seeing what is resonating with me and what I like the most, okay? Then I picked a strategy. Then I looked at like, hey, I see this direct to seller thing. I see people getting good at talking to sellers and they're able to scale their business and all these different types of things. That's what was resonating with me. So I had to just go get the knowledge on how to do that. but it took me to get in proximity, because here's what happened when I wasn't in proximity. I was learning on YouTube, which is cool. You can learn on YouTube, right? You're going to get some good game from YouTube. But here's the deal. I spent like probably, I think it was 5 to 6 months learning on YouTube, not getting anywhere. Also, not really getting in proximity to the people that were doing the thing that I was trying to do. I was in proximity to people doing real estate. Like, for example, I had a fix and flip mentor that I would hang out with all the time and go to his projects and everything like that. But he didn't really know anything about wholesaling. Like, that's wholesaling and fixing flipping are two different things. So I wasn't in proximity to the people that were actually doing the thing that I was trying to build, right? So then all of a sudden I got into a community where they were actual wholesalers building direct to seller businesses. And I start hanging out with them and I start like doing the business with them. We're on Zooms together, literally calling sellers together and talking about what lists we're pulling and what softwares we're using and all this different type of stuff. And we're just helping each other out. And that's really what got me to really start gaining traction. So, but here's what happened. I got proximity. Once I got proximity, I got clarity. So there's I would say there's like 5 steps, right? I get proximity to people. That gives me the idea of like, hey, what do I resonate with? What do I want to do? Then I get the knowledge, right? Since now I know what I want to do, I got to go get the knowledge. I got to go get the facts behind how to do the thing. This is very simple. This is like how to go pull a list, what lists to pull, what softwares to use, what scripts to use, all that type of stuff. Okay. Then I got understanding on why I was doing the things that I was doing and how I was doing it. And like, this is more so like listening to people's sales calls and figuring out why they are saying the things, why are they telling the stories the way that they're telling them, and why they're talking to the sellers the way that they're talking to them. So I'm getting understanding. So it's proximity, so you can get an idea. I would say maybe number 2 is get resignation from the proximity. So figure out what it is that you want to do from being resonated with it. Then getting knowledge on how to do that second thing. Then after that, you get understanding, like understanding exactly what you're doing and why. Like why am I telling this third party story while I'm talking to a seller? Why am I pulling this type of list? And you're getting the understanding why. And then Daryll, what do you think the final piece is?
Is it just doing the thing?
It's very yeah. I sum it up into one word.
What's that?
It's wisdom.
Okay.
Right. So now that you're actually going out and doing the thing and gaining traction, now you have an understanding of why the heck you're doing the things that you're doing. Then you actually go out and do the thing. You're like building wisdom. So like me and Daryll, when it comes to going out and talking to sellers and building a wholesale business, we straight up have wisdom. Like we have done it. I was literally just on a call yesterday, locked up a deal. My team, dude, ready? My team talks to this lead. Lead's like, no, I want my attorney to look over the paperwork. As I was listening to the call, I'm like, dude, I know that lady is willing to sign this deal right now. She just needs a little bit more credibility and a little bit more oomph.
Right.
So I hop on the phone, but dude, she brought me like through the ringer. I ain't even playing, bro. Like she was forcing. She came up with everything. Hey, why does it say that your contract can say that you can assign it? Why does it say that you can put it on the MLS? What she even got to this point, bro. She was like, what happens if your boots on the ground come to the house and trip and fall? Are they gonna sue me? And I'm like, damn, I never got that question before.
Yeah, I never got that one either.
I'm like, that's a great question.
How'd you overcome that?
I kind of just like breezed by it. I was like, you know what? We do have insurance, but at the end of the day, that has never happened, nor will it ever happen. But if it does, we're gonna find that out. And just kind of breeze by it. Just how we take it was just a complaint, right? But all these different things. But that's wisdom, dude. I was able to get through that whole entire call. It was 50 minutes. I was able to do that because I've been here. I've done this before. And that's what having wisdom's about. So if you guys are writing it down, it's proximity, Then you get resignation, like what you resonate with. So to understand exactly what you want to do. Then you get knowledge, like the actual facts behind how to go do that thing, how to pull a list, how to talk to the seller, what scripts to use, all that type of stuff. Then you get understanding, why the heck am I doing the thing that I'm doing? Then you get wisdom once you go out and do the thing. And now you're like stacking the skills and you just repeatedly do that. The coolest thing, Daryl, is like we will do this for the rest of our lives. Like now that we have mastered wholesaling, we're going to start getting into different things. You know what I mean? And we got to go get in different rooms to realize, you know, what those things are that resonate with us. Like, what do we want to go build? Do we go want to build this big multifamily portfolio? Do we want to go build this single family portfolio or whatever? What resonates with me the most? You see what I mean? And you go figure the facts out behind it. Then you do a couple of deals and you start getting wisdom, and it's freaking great. That's how you stack skills.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Longer than expected, but love it.
Yeah. So Mario, if you want to learn the game, get with somebody that's in your market, right? If you don't know somebody in your market, join a community that has people everywhere and ask somebody who's in your market, who's in the market, who can I make calls for, right? Who can I make calls for? And you got to just do it, right? You just got to do the business, like Mike was saying, man. So I love that, Mike. I love that. Tim Keegan says, "What's up, guys? Any tips on time management and scheduling your time?" So this is important, right? Especially when you decide to make that leap from, you know, being an employee to a jumping from the left side of that cash flow quadrant to the right side. When you want to become an investor, a business owner, right? It's important to understand how to manage your time and schedule your time, because nobody's doing it for you. When you work the job for somebody else, they would tell you, hey, you need to be in at 9, you need to leave at 5, you eat lunch at 12. You ask me to go to the bathroom, right? Now, when you're an entrepreneur, you're doing this full-time on your own. Nobody's going to tell you what time to wake up. Nobody's going to tell you what time to clock in. Nobody's going to tell you what time your lunch is or how long you can have lunch. Nobody's going to tell you any of that stuff. It's on you to be disciplined and follow the schedule that's going to make you successful, right? If you know you need to put in a lot of time working, right, then put that time into work. And if you have a lot of time to put into work, like actually do it, right? One thing that I do to manage my time is I time block, right? I use a calendar. I use Google Calendar, and every week on Sunday morning, every week, I plan out my entire week, right? So I know exactly what I'm going to be doing every single day, 15-minute increments, right? I literally go down the list every single day of the week, and every 15 minutes has something accounted for, right? So from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing with my time. Because time is like, I watched a Hormozy video, right? And he talks about time is not your most important asset. It's your attention and what are you focusing on with your time, right? So once you have this time, you need to know exactly what you're doing with every single minute. And if you don't, it's going to be easy for you to drift, right? So many times before I and even now, it's still kind of tough, but there was so much when I wasn't using the calendar, I would get a call, right? And that would just take me totally off my schedule for the day. And I have things that I know I'm supposed to do and I can't get to it because I'm getting pulled in so many different directions, especially when you have a team, right? When you have people that are on your team that are making calls for you, they may want to call you and get you to do a comp for them or see if they can get approval for sign a contract, right? Like there's a lot of things that having a team they may do. You may need to put some fires out, but if you don't have like a time block for all those separate things, you're going to be in trouble, right? And one thing that I like to do as well is I'll give myself 3 hours minimum of like deep work, right? So in these 3 hours, my phone is on do not disturb. It's actually face down on the counter, and I'm just sitting there working. Whatever I need to, like my most important priorities that I need to get done for the day, I'm doing them during these 3 hours. And since I have so much time, since like, you know, I don't have, it's just me. Like I don't have no kids. I don't got nothing that I'm working on right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I have a lot of time. So I give myself 2 or 3 time, like deep work times a day. So it's like 2 or 3, 6, 8, 9 hours of like just deep work for me. And I give myself, I put it all on the calendar. People that are closest to me, they know during this time, I'm not going to answer the phone. right? Like right now is one of those times. This is deep work time, right? Like my phone's on do not disturb. People know not to call me at 4 to 6 o'clock on Wednesdays, right? So having a calendar, following that calendar, and letting your inner circle understand your calendar as well, so they can respect that calendar. If you don't respect your time, nobody's going to respect your time.
That's a big fact. 100%, bro. Because it is so tough not to get pulled in so many different directions throughout the day. Sure. Because, dude, when you have multiple people that you're helping put food on the table, they need your help.
For sure.
Throughout the whole entire day, and they are going to hit you up.
Without a doubt.
It's so funny. Like, I have to hop out of my VO sometimes in my virtual office. So my team, right? We're not all in my physical office location right here. A lot of them are out overseas or out in some other part of the country or whatever the case is. So we hang out in the virtual office. We have a Zoom where we all have our cameras off. We can go in breakout rooms. We can talk to each other. You know, somebody needs help with a lead, I can go in a breakout room and help them with it or whatever the case is. But whenever I go in there with my camera off, all of a sudden, my phone starts blowing up. Like, hey, bro, can you hop in a breakout room really quick? Hey, bro, can we hop in a breakout room really quick? I'm like, dang. Sometimes I have to hop out of there, especially when I'm in the middle of something, or just simply let them know, like, hey, I'm in the middle of something. But 100%, it's definitely important to make sure that you dedicate the times that you need to do the stuff that you need to do.
And think about it, bro. Like what is stopping you from sleeping till 10 o'clock? Like a lot of people do. It's literally nothing. Like if you wanted to, you could. You know what I mean? So like as an entrepreneur, it's important to put yourself on a schedule. And it's crazy because like it's just a mindset shift. It's like somebody else tells you you need to be at this place at 9 o'clock for you to get paid. You're gonna do it all day to feed to pay yourself, yeah, but you're feeding somebody else's dream at that point. But when it comes to your own dream, when it comes to your own goals, when it comes to your own family, you don't wake up on time. You sleep till 10 o'clock. Right. So like take your time serious, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Like take like it one thing that shout out to Keston. Keston had me do this one time where he printed out a piece of paper. It was 24 hours in the day, broke up into 15-minute increments. And he said, "There's the time that you go to sleep." He's like, "What time you go to sleep?" I'm like, "About 10 o'clock." He's like, "What time you wake up?" I'm like, 5. He's like, "Okay, great." So from 5 to 10, every 15 minutes should have a slot in it. Bro, I was like sitting here trying to find stuff to do, right? It makes you realize like how much time you actually waste in a day if you don't have every single minute of your day planned out. And it's up to you. Like, do you want to take your life serious? You know what I mean? Do you want to take these minutes that you have in your life serious? If you don't, then don't. We got Sam singing in the chat. What's up, Sam?
Damn, what's good, bro? Yeah, dude, it's important to be intentional about it. You know what? I think we should circle back to talking about like time blocking with your team or time blocking with your family. Here's one of the main reasons why it's important is because when you time block that with your team or with your family and you're spending time with them, that means you're not being pulled in a direction from somebody else. So you're giving that person or that team or that thing that you're working on your undivided attention. And dude, that makes somebody feel good. If I'm hopping on a call with my team and we have a sales meeting, like me and my team have a sales meeting every single day, and that's it. I'm not answering anything else. I'm not on social media or anything like that. We're just talking about leads, and that's what we're supposed to be doing in that meeting. You know what I mean? If I'm time blocking a time for me and my wife to go out on a date, that's what we're doing. We're going on a date, and that's it. I'm not working. I'm not answering the phone. I'm not doing none of those things. If I'm on Wholesale Hardknocks, my phone is on Do Not Disturb. I'm not answering a call. Since we have started this 25 minutes ago, if I look down at my phone, I promise you I have like 10 text messages and 5 DMs.
For sure.
I'm not looking at that right now. You see what I mean? Because I'm invested. I'm giving Wholesale Hardknocks all my time and energy.
Without a doubt. Real quick, I want to shout Sam Singh out because a few weeks ago he jumped into the dog pound and we did a master class. We won like
Mm.
it was like 90 minutes, 90-minute master class on data, sales, how to get the best data in real estate, right? And it was amazing, right? And we're actually going to do that multiple times a month. So like we've been using Sam's data with the data syndicate. We've been getting our records directly from the county, and them things been hot, baby. I'm telling you, them things been hot. If you guys
Sam,
want,
Sam, we got to link up, bro. Shoot me a DM.
bro, if you
Shoot me a
want,
text. You got my phone
I was
number.
just about to tell y'all if y'all want to sign up and see what Sam working with, hit that link because it is fire. Like I'm talking every week we get a download of leads and send them to our cold callers and they just start blasting them. These people are motivated, man. I'm telling you. So if you guys need leads, hit up the data syndicate.
Dude, I saw somebody who's like, all they do is generate leads. They don't close or anything like that. Their job is to solely generate leads and they sell leads. I saw them say that right now is the hardest time to generate leads. Like they're having like a hard time with data and things with like text messaging laws and all that type of stuff. So having somebody like Sam who has great freaking data that you don't have to worry about any BS, holy crap. Sam, we need to connect, bro.
For sure. For sure. I got my man's B Will in the chat. B Will, you're supposed to be on here tonight, dog.
We gonna get him back, bro.
We gotta get him. We don't get him.
Next week, hot seat.
Yo, so David says, do you have a script to use for pre-foreclosures? So I'm gonna treat this like a question. Mike, do you have a special, like when you're talking to pre-foreclosures, do you have a special script, like a different type of script?
No. Even if we're door knocking, we just treat everything the same. Because here's the thing. In our business, we don't pull like a specific list. Just think about it. We have virtual assistants calling so much data a day. Like they rifle through it. They're on 3-line dialers, meaning they're talking to three-line dialer might go over somebody's head. Somebody might be like, Mike, what the heck is a 3-line dialer? You're literally calling 3 phone numbers at the same exact time. Some of them are hanging up, some of them are answering, some of them don't answer. But it's 3. You're rifling through data. Okay. So if we just pulled here in Boston all the pre-foreclosure leads, dude, would be out of data in like 2 hours. So we pull absolutely everything. And then here's what we do. We use the sales process to figure out if they're going through a foreclosure or if they just got a divorce or if they have a vacant property or if they're a tired landlord or whatever. So we use our scripts and our sales process in order to extract that information. So we're never calling somebody right away and just saying, hey, I see your house is in pre-foreclosure. Like, what's going on with that? We treat every lead the same and we make sure that our sales process is fine-tuned so that we're able to extract that information from them.
Bro, 1,000%. I think the main thing is having a system, right? And having a system that works for every situation because in reality, it's not you don't know what you're going to come across on these phones. So if you're going to just sit here, and of course, if you're just focusing strictly on pre-foreclosures, then yeah, it's going to be the same conversation most of the time. But just having a sales structure in general and having an overall sales structure is what is going to save you overall, right? When you have a guideline on how to take somebody, because in reality, all these different leads and like motivation types and all that, it's the same conversations. You're having the same conversations, right? You find the motivation, you figure out how this motivation is why this motivation is causing them to want to sell this house, and you solve their problem, right? You make a friend, you take them through this process, and you solve their problem, right? Now, it doesn't matter if they're a pre-foreclosure or probate. All that matters, the things that matter with that, like the difference between that is on the back end, right? Like once you get your contract signed and the steps you take after the contract is signed is different, way different from each other. That makes sense. So like, don't overthink this the script, having a specific script for a pre-foreclosure. Just go normally. So what I like to do is when I know it's a pre-foreclosure, I know they're in an auction and they don't try to tell me like I'm always gonna take them through my process, try to figure out their motivation by asking them the occupation. So I'll the occupancy of the property, right? So I'll figure out who's living there, right? Is it vacant? Is it rental? Are they living there? And I'm gonna try to figure out their motivation from there. If I don't get their motivation from right there, if they don't just tell me like, hey, I'm in pre-foreclosure right now, they're not just open with it, which a lot of times they won't just be open to it. I'm gonna act really, really confused, right? And I'm gonna like when you're on these calls, you have to remember like you're almost putting on a show, right? You're almost putting on a show for the seller. So you have to. So what I like to do is I like to act really confused, and I'll act like I actually pulled the property up, and I'll say, hey, so if I'm out of line, like you can tell me that I will be quiet, I'll mind my business. But when I pull the property, if I see something here about an auction coming up, do you know anything about that? And if they're in pre-foreclosure, they'll tell you.
This guy's good.
If they're not in pre-foreclosure, then they'll tell you, right? And that's a good way to bring that up and have this conversation without feeling like you're prying.
100%. And then it's just like a regular call, because if you go in talking about the pre-foreclosure, like right away, you're like, hey, or talking about like you just pulled a divorce list. Hey, I noticed on the county records it said you just went through a divorce. Like, yo, I don't want to talk about my divorce right now, dog.
Right.
That's going to offend somebody right away. And then the most important part in the beginning of the call is to build a bond and to create a friend. And then you like shoot yourself in the foot for the opportunity to create that bond with somebody. So we just treat everything the same way. We treat every single lead the same way. We bring them through the same exact sales process, the same exact script. And then to Daryl's point, if we find out that, hey, it says on realtor.com or on Zillow that things in pre-foreclosure or something like that, and they're not telling us, then we can say, hey, just curious, have you seen the Zillow listing lately on your property? Dude, it says that you're in foreclosure. What's going on with that? Now they're like, wait, what? Yeah, you're right. I think it's whatever, right? Then you get that out of them. We do that like very worst case scenario. Daryll, I really like what you said. You pretty much were like, we have to be actors.
Yeah, for sure.
I was in a Zoom with my sales training community. I think this was a couple of days ago. Kid was like, he went through the process so well and was going through the questions so well. He was crushing it, asking the right questions, doing all the things. And I was like, dude, if you get this one thing down, there's nobody stopping you in this industry. Like, you are going to be one of the greatest salespeople ever. And I was like, just being present in the call as if you were a freaking actor. And here's what I said. I was like, what was the guy's name? Heath Ledger from the Batman movie.
Okay.
He was the Joker. I don't know the whole entire story, but like after he was the Joker, he ended up like staying in the role. Like, he was so good in that movie. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but him as the Joker in that movie, dude, he was like one of the best freaking actors you've ever seen. And he brought that role with him after the freaking movie. That's how good he was acting. I was like, yo, if you can be like that on a call and be so present into the call and literally like, wait, I see that there's something here on Zillow that said the property was in foreclosure. Like, if I am out of pocket right now, please let me know. But did you know about that? Like, dude, you're almost acting, bro, but you're being super present in the moment. So if you can bring that into your calls, holy crap.
Without a doubt. So if you guys have any other questions, keep asking questions in that chat. David, with that being said, you can't script these conversations, right? Like, you can't script the motivations and why somebody's going through what they're going through, how they got in that situation, how they've been holding up, right? Like, you can't script that type of thing. the best thing that we can tell you is to have a structure. Me and Mike have made plenty of videos on having a sales system. And if you just go back and look at our sales training, we break down sales systems from A to Z, right? And we have very similar sales systems, and we kind of mixed ours together and we broke it down from A to Z. So go back and watch some of those older videos that we posted and get yourself a sales system and prepare yourself to have organized conversations with these sellers. What else we got in the chat, man? Sam says, the simpler and more uniform you make every process, the easier you can scale. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. This isn't a question, but I do want to talk about this. Like recently, we actually, like in our business, we actually, I told you, Mike, we actually talked about this a couple of times on Wholesale Hardknocks. I've had my acquisitions people forget everything they've ever learned about creative finance. Even if they're in sub 2, I don't care. I told them, forget everything you ever learned about creative finance. And I told them straight up, I'm like, look, I just recently onboarded a couple new guys, and I'm like, look, if you want to pitch terms, like if you truly like in your heart feel like you can't fight the urge to pitch terms, they're probably not a good fit for each other. Because I'm looking to scale this acquisitions business, and creative finance is not simple at all. And simple scales, like Sam says, simple scales, right? When you have something as difficult as creative finance and all these different paperwork and different types of we have to self-perform on deals, and we have to just have different laws and different everything. That is so much more complicated than a cash deal.
It really is.
It is. And then when you have to teach somebody on your team you have to teach multiple people how to pitch these types of deals, how to underwrite these types of deals, how to overcome these objections, how to overcome the objections on the contract, right? It gets a lot. It turns into a lot. So I told them, like, yo, just chill out. Like, we're only doing cash. We're only focusing on cash. If you have something that makes sense for terms, let me know. We're not going to just throw them out the window because, of course, we know terms, but that's where I step in. And I do majority of the creative conversations and stuff like that, right? So if you're looking to scale, keep it simple. Keep it simple. I'm not saying don't do creative finance, but expect a lot more headaches when trying to scale.
Dude, did you see Pace's thing with Grant Cardone?
I didn't watch the whole thing yet.
I had to watch it. I was watching it last night, and I was like, holy, dude, Pace is so good. Like, he's so good. He's such a beast. But he was explaining part of this to Grant. Grant was like, well, dude, how do we go do freaking 1 million of these deals? And Pace is like, you don't. Pace is like, you don't, because you have to, like, it's very hard to scale these operations. It's not just as simple as getting a cash deal under contract and then assigning it and closing in 30 days. Like, dude, there's like Daryll was saying, you got to self-perform on things. You got to have transaction coordinators who know what the heck they're doing, and not too many people do when it comes to creative finance. It's a whole different ballgame. There's a lot more that comes to it. And Sam makes a good point. The assignment fees on creative deals,
yeah, they're not sexy.
Are not the best. Cash deals. Hey, can you guys, like, anybody who's watching, and you guys have, VAs, cold calling, or whatever you're doing, post some damn lists here in New England, because these cash assignment fees in New England are insane, especially in like the Boston area, south of Boston area. That's where we do the majority of our deals. Like, I promise you guys get a deal up here, we'll be able to display that thing. I think our average assignment fee on cash deals in that area is probably like 30 to 35 grand.
Damn.
On a cash deal. So the cash deals are like king when it comes to as much as you're going to get on an assignment fee.
I love that.
Tim said something really cool. He said, I watched it twice. Can't believe I knew more than Grant.
That's crazy.
Grant's great. Here's a Grant. I actually really like Grant. Grant is one of my favorite salespeople, even though I don't even think that he's that good at sales. I just think he's freaking relentless, and that's what makes him good. Like, he's just an absolute savage when it comes to it. He's just relentless, and that's how you got to be, bro. That's how that deal that I was just telling you about, Daryll, earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Took me 50 minutes going over a contract with this lady. I was like, you are not hanging up this damn phone without signing that damn contract. That's it. Like, that was my mentality throughout the whole entire call. That's how you got to be.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. That's and a lot of people, they one thing that I learned from Grant is negotiating starts at no. When they say no, when that person says no, that's when negotiations start. That's when it's time to, overcome those objections and now close the sale. That's what closers do. They get people from saying no to yes. Right. Abe said, "Do y'all do deals in Indianapolis?" Hell yeah, bro. We have like 1 million cash buyers nationwide. If you have any deals that you want to send for Dispo, send it to our email, put it in the chat, deals@Offer George. Our Dispo team can move a deal literally anywhere in the nation.
Daryl's been doing my Dispo.
Facts.
Been crushing it.
We have one closing this month.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it. I'm waiting for you to send us some of those Boston ones, dog. Send those Boston ones through, big dog.
I got you, bro. We just sent another one to y'all today.
Facts. I was just looking at it.
What are your thoughts on that one, bro? Have you seen it? Like, completely?
I like literally while we were on here, I was multitasking and I pulled it up because we were just talking about Dispo.
Yeah, to be honest, I've never done that type of deal ever. It's a mobile home. I've never done a mobile home deal.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take a look at this thing.
So we'll see. Cool. Somebody else had a question up here.
Was it Abe?
Abe says, "Is this the best offer to possibly give? To look at the cash sales nearby, see what flippers are buying at, and buying slightly underneath." What do you think, Daryll?
So I think that is a great thing to do, right? Like you want to look at as is comps in the area. That's what we do, right? We don't. If we do, we're gonna use a formula most of the time, right? Because simple scales, right? So my whole team has a formula that we use. Just taking the Zillow estimate, the Redfin estimate, Realtor.com estimate, taking the buyer percentage off and subtracting our assignment fee, right? It makes it really quick to generate an offer, and it's usually very low, but it typically solves people's problems, and we get bigger assignment fees on it, right? But if it's in a smaller market, more rural market where it doesn't have a Zillow estimate, or there's not much going on, right? Or you just want to double check. I always check with the cash sales in the area within a mile radius that have been sold to investors, that have been sold like off market, because now you see exactly what buyers are buying for, right? And I don't try to go slightly under. I try to go a lot under what I see the cash sales getting sold for, right? The lower you get it, the more of an assignment higher an assignment that you can get.
Here's what I've learned. And I used to do that too, Daryll. Looking at all the cash sales and what other buyers are buying at and talking to other buyers and stuff like that. What I have learned is that going to Dispo wholesalers and realtors serves me much more than going to the buyer directly, because they know all the buyers. And I know this because I've passed up on deals, and then all of a sudden I see the freaking deal on Facebook 2 months later at a much higher price, and then it ends up getting sold, and I kick myself in the butt like, dude, what the heck happened? How the hell did they sell that? I'm not a Dispo guy. I don't sit there and talk to buyers all day. I don't have like a big arsenal of buyers. I have my buyers in my pocket that know me, and we hang out and do all these things in my area. But the Dispo wholesalers, think about this. If you guys look at the wholesaling business as two completely separate businesses, acquisitions and Dispo, and even in those businesses, there's different branches in those different businesses. But to keep it simple, there's acquisitions, like going out and getting contracts, locking up sellers, and then there's dispositions, people that find the buyers for those contracts. The people that are doing the second one, that's all they're doing all day. They're literally just talking to buyers all day, and they're building relationships with them, and they're doing deals with them. They're doing multiple deals with them, right? So they're building this thing called like presence in the marketplace and scarcity in the marketplace when it comes to selling a deal, because their buyers know that they have other buyers that they're talking to, and they know that they do valid deals. So they understand when I send out a contract to a dispo team or a lead to a dispo team, they understand, hey, I know if I go put this out to the marketplace at this, I'm going to be able to create a bidding war and we'll probably get over this number. No buyer is going to be able to tell you that. But the dispo wholesaler, put it this way, the dispo wholesaler or the realtor who has all the buyers, they're going to be able to sell your deal higher than anybody else because they have that scarcity already built in if they've been doing this business for a while. If they just started out and they don't have any presence in that marketplace, then it's going to be hard to find that out. But if they're in that marketplace and they have built a solid presence of a lot of buyers in that marketplace, that's the person that you want to figure out where you're going to find a buyer at. And then, Abe, here's what you actually do to find out the offer number. You figure out their absolutely lowest price through the sales process.
Yep. I love it. Mike, this is a question for you, bro. Brennan Gallagher says, can you talk about how you handle the contractors on the fix and flip deals? Is it challenging to get a dependable general contractor and crews?
Brendan, my guy. How you handle the contractors on? Yeah, it definitely is hard getting dependable contractors for sure. If you don't have any connections in that area or you don't have any people that you can rely on for referrals, on all that stuff, on contractors, I rely solely on referrals. I was just talking to one of my homies who does fix and flips, and he was, this dude, right? Daryll, listen to this. Guy hires a plumber. Plumber does probably 3/4 of the work. My homie sends him $6,000 up front to start the work. Homeboy goes to Mexico after he started half of the work, and then all of a sudden goes ghost. Okay? Not answering a phone call at all for like 2 or 3 weeks straight. Pauses the project completely. Finally, he comes back. Finally, he answers, and he just drags his feet, and he's just like, yeah, man, I'm going to get my guys over there to do it. I'm going to get my guys over there to do it, and just never gets it done. That guy was in cahoots with the HVAC guy as well. So they were all hanging out. They're both homies together.
Yeah, Mexico together?
They probably went to high school together.
They go to Mexico together?
Oh, yeah, they probably did go to Mexico together. But so end of story is guys dragged him along for like, I think it was a month and a half. And then finally said, hey, bro, this is too much on my plate. I'm walking from it. Took his $6,000, said, I can't give you your $6,000 back. It's already gone. I'm sorry. The plumbing that he did was absolutely terrible. Like, it was the worst work ever. So the new plumber that came in had to rip everything out and do the whole entire thing over again. So now my homie has to come up with extra money to refinish all the work, close on the property, and then take that plumber to court later on. This wasn't a referral. This was from somebody who he just found on online.
Damn.
Who we got a quote from. That's why it's so important to just get referrals. So I was talking to him, and I was explaining. I was like, yeah, man, when I was just starting out fixing and flipping too, I would try to use these random guys, and I had random guys walking in and giving quotes and everything like that. And it'd be so funny. You'd have people come in. I remember the last fix and flip I was in. Guy came in that I had no idea. I'd never met him in my life, but he came in to give us a quote. And he said the whole entire floor had to be removed. Like, not just like the flooring. I'm talking about the whole floor, like the subfloor, like literally everything, the base of the floor, everything. So right. So that it's like a shell. So that if you walked in, you'd fall to the basement.
What?
Right? That's pretty much what he said. It was not even true at all. Obviously, he just wanted more work and he wanted to charge more. Right. But it would have cost an extra like freaking $40,000 or something crazy. Ultimately, what I have done, shout out to my guy, Bill. He was my fix and flip mentor in the beginning. I pretty much have used so many referrals from him that he has vetted, that he has used in his business, and he's done multiple fix and flips with, and he's shared some of his contractors with me. So definitely when it comes to contractors, you want to go off of referrals.
I think that's so important, bro, because contractors will definitely try to take advantage of you. They're like sharks in the water, especially if you're doing virtual. Like, I've done a few virtual projects, and they try to take advantage if you don't know what you're doing. There's times I don't know what the heck I was doing, and thankfully I have friends like Mike, friends like Sam, where I can reach out to them and I can say, "Yo, what do I do in this situation?" Like Sam sent me at one point. Sam sent me all his documents that he has with his contractors that he puts in place with his contractors. Right, all his contracts. This is before I even knew. I'm like, what the hell? You're supposed to have contracts between your contractors, and you don't just use theirs. Like what? So like if you don't know, and they'll try to tell you like this is how we can. This is the only way we can do it. It's the only way we can do it. And like I had an experience with this project we're doing in Conroe, Texas. Actually, it's gonna be a midterm rental. Shout out to Tanisha. She's gonna be running that midterm rental for us.
Shout out to Tanisha.
Tanisha's the GOAT. And I had a contractor on this, and he just kept trying to upcharge me like for a bunch of extra things. He kept trying to say, "Oh, we need to do this." Yo, it even got to the point where I told him to do one thing with the kitchen, right? He's like, "All right, cool," and I didn't want to change the countertop, right? So this dude, like, all right, picture this, right? The original kitchen was like a U, if that makes sense, right? It was like a giant U. You know what I mean? So it's like we had the stove right here, and then we had the little countertop. Right, all that, right? So I told him, look, cut off one side of this U and put it against the wall. Put it all against the wall. So now it's gonna look like an L. You know what I mean? So I said, you can do this without making this look bad. You know what I mean? Like you can the way that he could have cut it without he could have did it without making it look bad. But this dude purposely like trashed the counter. So I had to buy a new counter. It was crazy. And then once he was finished with all the work, he's like, yeah, I didn't plug your stove back in because it looked like the electrical was messed up, and this house was so old, and they really messed up the electrical, blah blah blah. I think you should change your electric. I know a guy if you want some help with that. I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro.
I know a guy.
I know a guy, right? And it's crazy because I even pulled up. Like he didn't know I was coming because I live in Arizona. I get there. He talks about all this hard work that he's doing. Bro, I get there. There's one guy in the house. One guy in the house doing work. We're doing a whole renovation. There's one guy in the house doing work. And on top of that, when I pulled up, I found out that the door was just like being unlocked and just being left unlocked every single day. Thankfully, he was in a nice neighborhood. His house is on a damn golf course. But like still, like, why is my asset just being unlocked like this? And that's on me, right? For not managing it the right way. But if you don't manage it the right way, if you don't have the right people in place, if you don't vet your contractors, they will take advantage of you. Trust and believe they will take advantage of you.
100%, dude. We had this was one of my partner's first fix and flips, and I let him manage the whole thing. And we had the electrical quotes come in. Some guy comes in, first quote. He's like, it did not need to be fully gutted, by the way. It was just like a couple of updates to the electrical panel and some recessed lights and stuff like that. The guy comes in and he's like, full gut, $26,000. And I'm like, so what do you think? He's like, I don't know. It doesn't sound that bad. Maybe. Is it bad? I'm like, yeah, dog. That's like he's trying to take advantage of us like crazy. Really, what happened is he goes and meets. This is another key, Brendan. So if you're meeting your contractors at the job site to get a quote and stuff, make sure you don't get taken advantage of. Make sure you treat this almost just like you're treating a seller call, right? You're not like, even if you are brand new, go in there with freaking confidence, like you know what the heck you're doing. You don't have to lie and tell them that you're not, that that you haven't done a bunch of flips or whatever, but still go in there with confidence that you're not going to get negotiated with. But what he did is he went in there like pretty much as getting consulting from the actual electrical guy. Like he didn't know what the heck was going on. So the electrical guy goes in there with his clipboard and he's like, yep, that one. Oh, that. And then my partner's like, oh my God, really? And he's like, yep. That right there. This is going to be $26,000. All right. But It was his first flip, right? But the point of the story is like to Daryl's point, the contractors will take advantage of you 100%. They'll come in there, they'll sniff that you don't know what the heck you're doing, they don't know what the heck you're talking about. In their mind, they're like, "Oh, this guy just bought a flip. He's got a bunch of cash. I'm going to take advantage of him." No. Actually, Daryl, you want to know that the actual mindset behind the contractors?
What's that?
This guy's a fix and flipper. He's going to make a lot of money on the deal anyway. I'm going to make my money. I'm going to make sure I make my money.
That's so messed up, bro. Because people don't even realize, like, if you're messing with somebody good, if you treat somebody good, that could be repeat business for you. But like somebody like me, like I'm going to refer you to other people if you treat me good. You know what I mean? Like it's such bad business when you do people the wrong way, and they will try to do it. They will try to do it.
Protect yourselves out here in these streets.
Let's get one more question in, Mike, and then let's wrap it up, bro. Let's get. You got Abe asked a couple good questions. Let's answer this one though. He says, "Do you guys think this is a really good question, Abe? Do you guys think texting your list first, maybe asking if they live in Alabama, and then calling the leads that respond, or just cold calling the entire list?" Mike, what do you do on this?
I'm gonna give y'all the sauce. Y'all ready for the sauce? Once my team started doing this, it was like the leads. It was like a hopper. All the leads come into the funnel of the hopper, and the hopper was just overflowing with leads. We started simultaneously texting and cold calling. So my team literally hops on the dialer. So we use batch dialer. They hit the dialer the whole entire day, sit with their headset, wait for somebody to answer. While they're doing that, they also have batch leads up, text blasting. Once a lead comes in, once somebody says, "Hey, I'm interested in selling my house," via text blast, they stop the dialer really quick and they get on the phone with that lead. And then once they're done with that lead, they put the notes, get right back to texting and turn the dialer on. And they're doing literally stuff at the same damn time.
At the same damn time. And that's the same answer that I have, because I actually got that sauce from Mike, and it just makes so much sense. Right. And if you don't want to just do that, I think the important part about that is to do both, right? Like whether you call the list or text it, you have to do both because you have different demographics of people, right? You have some age groups, some demographics who they may answer the phone more, right? They may answer a phone call. Like, so you have some baby boomers looking to sell their house. They may answer a phone call. They may listen to a voicemail and respond to that voicemail, right? But then you have some millennials, the younger generation that own houses. They may find it better just responding to a text, right? You have some people who, if they see an unknown number, they will just decline it right away. But if they get a text, then that's something completely different, you know? So I think doing both is definitely the way to go. Mike.
Well, he asked one more question just to follow up. He said, "So you're hitting different lists, power dialing one and text blasting the other one." My team's a little bit different because we have been pulling data for years. Like we've been in the business for 3 years now. So we have a bunch of data and we always recycle a lot of the data. So we're always on different lists and everything like that. But if you're just starting out, the moral of the story is you don't have to do them simultaneously. Like I was saying, if you don't have a team and you don't have the data for that and you're just rifling through, or you're just on the dialer all day calling and then texting them, whatever, figure out what works for you. But the moral of the story is, yes, you want to be cold calling and texting them so that you extract as much opportunity as possible. But look at the resources that you got. If you only have a certain amount of cash and you only have a certain amount of time, dedicate that to either one of the strategies. Cold calling works and texting works. They both work.
Without a doubt. It's just going to take that consistency.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, man. Dog, this is episode 56, bro. 56 straight weeks of wholesale hard knocks, just giving the game. Me and Mike don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I know I love Wednesdays. It's one of my favorite days of the week. Hump day. We're here to just give game, give value, and just continue to crush it. right? Like it's so important, bro. Like I want to shout out, if my team is in here, I want to shout out to my team because I was outside all day, bro, getting ready for this flight and then jump on the podcast. There's a bunch of stuff that I couldn't do today. And I'm getting alerts all day. Just sent the contract out. Just sent the contract out. Can
Let's
you
go.
like it? They were absolutely crushing it, bro. So we started the thing off talking about gratitude. I want to end it off talking about gratitude. I'm grateful for the gang and grateful I was able to, build that shit up to that point. Because there was a point, Mike, where I was telling you, bro, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna just get back on the calls. If I would have just did that strictly, bro, it would have been a wrap.
Oh, no, bro. Yeah. I spent 50 minutes talking to that lead yesterday, and I'm like, dude, I don't got the time for this. Like, I didn't plan on 50 minutes on this call. You're right, bro. You know what? I got a lot of gratitude for you, dog. Shout out to Daryll, who stuck in there last week as I was on vacation and kept it consistent, right? Daryl said 56 episodes straight. Literally, it's been 56 episodes of us just going because, we're just here to just keep going. And I appreciate you, bro. But this was another episode of Wholesale Hardknocks. We'll be back again next week. We have a special announcement next week, and I need y'all to be here for that. So everybody stay tuned for next week. It'll be at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. We had to push it back an hour today, but 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. We'll be back. We have a big announcement. I need you guys to stay there, to be there for that podcast. I'm going to catch y'all later.